Good day and welcome back to another playthrough of a scenario on Mini Metro. Today I believe is episode 3 and it's going to be New York City. My previous best score was 1793 and I truly doubt we're going to get anywhere close to that today, but hopefully we'll have a bit of fun and you'll see, I would say, how to do this, but probably more the basics of how to do it and then how not to do it as I mess up in a wonderful style. And it's always good when it starts you requiring to use, in this case, not a tunnel but a bridge, as New York has, rather than tunnels which are in London and Paris, or have been up to this point. And again, as you can see, New York has a different set of coloured lines, or starts with a different set of coloured lines than the previous scenarios. So the way I normally do this is tend to have one line in the centre. There's another line over on the right across the river, and another one for the river over on the river on the left. And you connect the centre one and the middle ones via a bridge or two. That is plan A. Of course, as always with my plans for this game, they tend to go horribly wrong a lot faster than is normally desirable, and I tend to not fully think things through. That's the polite way of saying I act like an idiot. So here's one on the right, so we will connect a second line over there for the moment. How this actually works out is anybody's guess at this point, because it's too early to say if this is going to be a good or a bad scenario. Luckily on this level the trains still carry 6 people. There are some scenarios where the trains only carry 4, which makes that more of a challenge, as you need more trains to carry as many passengers, and I'm not sure how many people sit at a station before it starts to have a problem. But I think it's probably must be somewhere in the same setup as London, because my high score being almost 1800 must mean that it wasn't too difficult to get a decent score. Of course, I say that, and naturally things are bound to go wrong, and I'm bound to prove myself wrong by doing something badly. For the moment we'll go with an extra line just to store them up. As I say, I normally end up using at least 3 lines, one in each section, left, middle and right, and then I want a 4th line to help me do emergency movement of passengers. So if I get the lines early when I don't necessarily need them, then it sets me up for the later game, assuming there is a later game, where I need a spare line and I can use the other end of Sunday new editions for different things which are more useful at that point. That is, again, the theoretical plan. And of course, naturally over on the green line I'm getting circle after circle, which makes that line very inefficient. I could take this bit of green line, run it across the river to that triangle, but if I did that it would go from triangle to triangle, as this circle's already connected to the red line and that's already circle to circle, so that's not efficient to start with. And all things being equal, well, oh great, another circle. I don't think I could get any more bad luck if I tried. Just give me a triangle over here somewhere so I can put it between some of the circles. As at this rate, before the end of game week 2, I'm going to need multiple trains on the red line. In fact I do, because as you can see that train that just went past was full, so all 6 of those passengers didn't get picked up. And now I get a square where I don't need one. This is just getting better and better. I now also could do with a second train on the green line, because the 4 circles in a row are not helping. and having to dump all the squares there is not helping. We will see what happens, but already it's not looking good. In fact, it's looking bloody awful. So we'll run... Okay, we got the end of the week. We will take the 2 more bridges, and rather than run that there, I think we'll run that across there. Now, I need to include that one, so I need to redesign the green line. So I'm going to pause it for a second so I can make this, I would say, smoother, but less bad is probably the best way I can put this. And yeah, that's not good, but it could be worse. And now, of course, I could do with the spare train there, and I need to do some emergency work here. And of course I've got a train line over there, so we'll run the pink line that way for the moment. I've still got 2 bridges to spare, and what can I do with that for an emergency? I'll run the blue line down there for... Oh, I forgot, I don't have a train. I could have messed this up really early on, which would be really embarrassing. Yep, this is not going to end well. In fact, it's not even going to medium well, let alone anything else. So what I am going to do is get rid of the pink line to give me my train back, so I can deal with some of these crises for the moment. And let me deal with this crisis. Okay, and now I can put the pink line back over here, and I've almost got to another Sunday. And of course I've got a triangle down here where I could have done with it up here. But okay. As I say, I've almost got to another Sunday, which will give me another train for my emergency blue line, which should allow me to keep things, for the most part, under control. And hopefully, yeah, that green train will clear out some of those 6. Of course it's going to be out of the way. Okay, we want a carriage. Alright, so crises averted for the moment. I still got 2 bridges, so in theory I could run that to there. That way, for the moment at least anyway, the pink line has circles, a triangle and a square on it. And that's what I wanted to do with this guy, was give him a carriage. So on the way back he can clear some of these stations out. Again, it'd be nice if it put a triangle up here somewhere, so I could, rather than put a triangle down there, which is just very inconvenient and causing me to have sharper and sharper curves which slow trains down. In fact, I've now got, what, 1, 2, 3 sharp curves on the green line. The green line is horribly inefficient, and at some point I'll have to figure out a way of making it more efficient. But what that way is, I haven't determined yet. And of course I got a nice square there, which doesn't really help because I need the green line to connect to the red line at some point. So now I have to go through 2 square stations to get that connection, or I'd have to put the red line and connect to multiple square stations. And of course naturally I get a circle down here where I wanted a triangle or a square. And I've still got a bridge, so we'll run that as an emergency how to... Oh. Let's relock that up there. Now remove the blue line. Thank you. So, like I mentioned in many previous videos you may or may not have listened to, I do stupid well, and the green line is a perfect example of me doing stupid and not necessarily doing it well. We will go for another carriage on the principle that we can put it on this green train. With both of them doing that, maybe, just maybe, they will be efficient enough to handle the worst of the crises. And of course, on the way back they're going to be picking up lots of crosses, so they're going to have work on the way back as well. Well, if nothing else, I've almost... Oh, and this one's starting to get full. Wasn't expecting that. But the red trains are still running frequently enough that it's not a big enough problem to worry about just yet. It will become that way, but for the moment... problem. We're going to have to go that way. I start flatten out one of the bad corners, but it puts a fourth circle in the same section. And of course I've now got a fourth circle over here in the same section of line. Yep, it's not going well. That's putting it politely. At least that triangle has now changed to a star, which is something different. And I do have a spare bridge, so I can do the emergency run the blue line across there. And as you can see, I told you I'd give you the basics and then show you how not to do this game, and I think that's being borne out by my actions. I am failing badly, or failing, I wouldn't say miserably, but I'm not succeeding well. On the bright side, a new train. I'll go with a new carriage. Now, I'm not entirely sure where it's going to go. Probably on him, because he has multiple circles to deal with, and I could probably put a third train on this line and a second train on the pink line. Again, this is not looking good, but just for the heck of it, we'll run the emergency train down there. Let me pick up the red line. Why? Oh, that's why. I had that active, so I couldn't do that. I've now got a bad corner there, so I may have to redesign that at some point. However... Oh, and this is starting to go less than optimal. Yeah, we can put the circle out to there. That's something. Well, what I was going to say before I suddenly got distracted by too many things going wrong. Oh, great. Could I please catch a break? Now I can actually change that line to go that way, so it's not doing two squares in a row. Now I need to do something with this line. Let's run it down to there for the moment, just to get it back under control. And this one's going horribly wrong, but that red train will might take some of them squares away. I've got to 800, which is a higher number than I was expecting from the way this started. I don't think I'm going to get too much beyond 800 though, because this has become extremely inefficient. And yep, I'm going to need you to have a carriage when you get back up here. Let's run you to there. It'll be nice if I get to 1,000. Might be surprising if I get to 1,000, but it would be nice. Come on, let me terminate that line, thank you. And that one's going to be taken care of by that train. This one's a problem, because it's not going to get any passengers picked up by that one, so... that's the problem with, one of the problems with trying to delete lines, is the delete button is frequently over the bit that closes the bottom menu. Oh, great. A square right where I didn't need one. Not sure what I need to do with this one. But we'll run the emergency line down there. Maybe it'll get rid of enough of them. Yep, that is annoying, to put it politely. And let's see how many that... oh, Struth, this has gone horribly wrong. Run the emergency down there. Maybe it'll do enough. No. I didn't pay attention to that one, and that is the result. 978 passengers over 48 days. Well, it could have been worse. It could have been a lot better. And now you know what it looks like when you don't do it efficiently. And of course you get circles in groups together everywhere, which doesn't help. Anyway, that's all for now. I hope you're having fun. If you're not having fun, I hope someone's paying you for what you're doing. And if no one's paying you for it, stop doing it. Bye.